Oh my god. It's the Leo King's dressing room trailer? I don't know.
Happy New Year. About to go inside the Leo King live stream for New Year's. Hey. Too fun. It's too fun.
Because of Chiron that's been direct in Aries, that's been in major squares to this space. And I think that with Saturn and Pluto especially, this kind of like you're forced into true death and rebirth is we're seeing 21 and 22 degrees. So we're actually finally forward into this or not. And this is something that you do not want to continue to carry into this whole year, is being this kind of half in, half out. Look at the moon. The moon is going to be with Neptune, Pisces, exploring the imagination and the reality, but there's something to say about the mystical sea goat. There's something to say about your life right now where it's like, do you really want to keep debating? Because Saturn is a great debater, especially in Capricorn with Pluto, and Pluto's trying to give like all this FBI evidence, like, hey, so I was investigating and I went to her DMs and I went to the spam and then I went deep inside and this is what they really, here's all the data that's deep. And Saturn's like, ooh, okay, I could use that against her and plot against her or write with him or whatever. It's like, oh God. That's what's kind of creepy about Saturn and Pluto, is Pluto's working for Saturn at its own home. You gotta remember that, like, Pluto's been working in Capricorn's Saturn sign since 2008. Been gathering evidence on all of us since Facebook came out. Ooh. But there is something to say that the universe and your karma has been doing the same thing since 2008. That it's like, if you're really gonna start denying yourself of what you know is true in your life, of what you know you need to go to, well, go back to 2008 and the feeling that you had. Go back to what you know that you were destined to go towards, and use this beautiful moon and Neptune, which can be very confused, but there's going to be loss. There's Chiron here, there's Neptune that aligns you with what you've been doing for the last, well gosh, we're going to be in 2020, so 2008, Pluto, 12 years. And there's something to say with Jupiter and Capricorn 12 years ago, right? Because remember that Jupiter and Pluto met at the end of 2007 and we're in 2008, boom. But Pluto, Jupiter passed Pluto, was in Capricorn, and then Pluto went into Capricorn. So this is the first time that actually Jupiter entered and is going to meet Pluto. It's kind of a weird space, is if you actually think about wherever anybody was on the planet when it actually hit midnight and it actually hit January 1st, the North Node was at the top of the chart. Now the North Node in Cancer at the top is a little weird. It means that you have to make big choices to be comfortable. And it means that your emotions that you're holding on to that are this Capricorn kind of like old guy that's holding on to like his old trophies and old dusty, depends. Or it's because you feel safe because you've already known it. There's something about Capricorn and Cancer that deal with this tree of life, okay? Like the tree, of course, roots are in Cancer, and then we blossom it into Capricorn, right? But it's kind of interesting to think that actually that we have to focus on the blossoming of the roots now. It's almost like think about the roots of a tree. If I were to draw.
You're picking up on my lack of commitment. Oh, it's both. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I think they're together because tarot always follows the energy of astrology, because tarot just picks up on frequency, and it picks up the frequency that's around us. So if you notice, like during certain times of the month or year, people will be drawing the same major arcana cards, and that's because it's picking up on the same energy. And it just really depends if the reader's able to see that and tap into it, but for sure. And that's why it's important if you're learning tarot to also know astrology. It'll just make you, like you said, a much better reader, and you'll be able to understand the message a lot better. It's something that's really helped me, so if anyone wants to learn tarot, that's the best way.
I have a tarot question for you. So with major and minor arcana, have you ever done readings with just majors?
When I first heard that about my nature, that was a revolution for me. Like the idea that there was nothing that I had to do in this life was like, whoa. There's just so much space around that realization. And there's such a relief of pressure that weeds flowers and changes the seasons, and that makes the trees sprout from a seed. That's what's inside a generator. So they're magic beings when they own their power, but if they don't know their power, they're deeply frustrated beings. and they're deeply lost. I feel that sense of camaraderie that everyone else feels. And it's because of your aura. You have a very different aura than most people. It's closed, it's repelling. And so being a manifestor in this life is kind of surrendering to the fact that you are a lone wolf. And it's not to say that you have to be on the outskirts, it's not to say that you have to feel isolated, but it is to say that this life is about your trip and your trip alone. What do you want? What do you see? What do you want to bring into creation? Only then will you find peace, and that's what you're here to find in this life. So manifestors, even early on in life can feel like they're not loved or that they're being rejected because that powerful aura is just pushing back on everything around them, as well as the fact that they're not designed to be controlled. So your first primary relationship with your parents, which is usually based on obedience and most other types, just doesn't work like that because you're not here to listen. You're here to do what you're here to do. And that's another revolutionary thing about this system is if you know what your kids are, you get to break that cycle. 7-year period is it's time to really see anything that is pulling you from your truth and to just call it like it is. This is pulling me away from my truth. Even if it seems like if I let this go, I'm going to lose something. It's a lot better to lose something in the short term that seems vital than be stuck somewhere with people that you don't like, in a system that's crumbling, and you're relying on the system.
Knew that this person was going through something at that very moment, or we knew that someone needed to hear a specific sentence and we didn't quite know why. And so much of the 2020s in our divination is going to be about letting go of control of all this happening.
They're all taking photos of the same thing.
Ears is in the 20 to 20,000 hertz range. What we can feel through our skin is from the 0 to 100 hertz range. So just feel the foundational ratio that makes up the Fibonacci sequence. And this sequence is what is made up of is the mathematics of the universe and every aspect of our own physiology, of nature, of plants, of all the planets that David's been talking about, the distance between the planets, between the stars, between the Earth and the Moon, and even architecture that has been shown to be healthy, healing architecture is all in line with the phi ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. And so this is where we begin our sonic alchemy journey here today, because this is the same mathematical ratio of our connective tissue, and this connects all of us together. So take a deep breath in. Ascend through your spine. If you're feeling any kind of blockages, feel free to just raise your hand and point to where they are. And as we see this, I'm talking about something signed at the bottom of an email. Signature is an impulse. It's a representation that your neurology recognizes. It's called a signature. So as we begin to feed your nervous system signatures of the humpback whale, the Saturn rings, peach tree, and a sativa cannabis plant, how does your nervous system interpret that? Simply ask. 12 o'clock West Coast transition time. There's one more part of this song, and it's rooted in some of the earliest languages of this planet. Kabbalah, and ancient Hawaiians, and Hawaiian Huna.
Lobby of the Leo King Studios. Woo. I'm doing a tour, behind the scenes tour. The midnight Leo King Studio Warehouse 2020 party. Getting ready to dance. Here we go. There is another studio.
There it is.
Spiritual dance music.
And I'm going to get everybody live on Instagram to make sure they're connected. From California, from TV Studios. Thank you all so much. We love you all. I love you all very much. Everybody out there, we are in a whole new time. The way that I do the show is I'm going to talk real quick about the astrology. Are you ready for it? There is this energy of like, if it is not divine love and it is not making sense, it's gotta go. There's going to be a lot of shift in love energy, and this also means the positive too, to turn that all around. But if it doesn't make sense, or you're not on the same trail, you're not on the same identity of understanding the life that you want, well, goodbye. And then for those that have been waiting, the reversal is definitely saying that you might be getting out of a situation when you finally take the courage to say, I don't want to deal with that shit no more in my life.
No mas.
Our challenge card, they can't cash that check because it ain't worth shit, because it's actually not signed by you. I'm gonna do a quick prayer real quick.